what would you say to anyone who's had anything negative to say about PosterBoy at all?
Well, first of all, to all those haters out there, I'd just like to say
How's it, guys? I'm Nasipi Zwane, and I'm back with another episode of Sludge podcast. And today I've got Keagan of PosterBoy. My brother, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks, and you?
I am doing good, thanks. Now, obviously, this is my first time on camera like this, so if it looks weird or if it looks odd, I don't really care because I know that we're going to improve. But let us know in the comments what you guys feel about the new content and how it's been going in terms of YouTube. Is this something that we should continue doing? And obviously, in terms of the show today, we're going to be talking a lot more about PosterBoy, one of the most exciting bands to come out of Durban in recent history, and also one that is not without its controversy. Bro, is there anything we can't touch on in this interview, just by the way?
No, we're an open book. Anything you'd like to ask us, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I said, we are obviously here at Platts as well. And we also, Keagan and I want to learn, as you can see, we've got their mascot here. Keagan, tell me a bit more about you guys' mascot. As we were talking, before the show even started, we mentioned that one gig at the Vern where your previous mascot got stolen. So sort of give me some background insights in terms of the origins of your mascot and where that other one actually ended up.
Okay, well, this is Cody. Cody, the poster boy, the poster bear, as we like to call him. And yeah, basically, when we formed the band, we really wanted to be inclusive to all different types of people, females, people on the LGBTQ community. And yeah, because of that, we chose our branding to be pink, to be more inclusive. And somewhere along the way, we ended up with a bear, which basically represented our brand and our cuteness and our sort of ability to take rock, but also make it pink. And yeah, basically every show Cody comes with us. This isn't the original Cody, as Nasipi said.
Yeah.
And yeah, so last year we played a bunch of gigs and we took him with to every single one. And we played a show at the Vern in Howick.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of our fans actually ended up stealing Cody the poster bear. And yeah, it was very upsetting for us. We were quite close with that bear. And yeah, eventually we did find out exactly who stole him, but unfortunately we weren't able to recover the bear.
Damn, dude. But I mean, you got a really awesome new one here, which is really dope. And you did mention as well that you guys are going to be selling some of them as well. So I feel like it's such a good sort of marketing type thing because, as I say, what makes you guys different is that the way that you guys do things. It's just I haven't seen any other Durban band doing it the way that you guys do it. In terms of, I remember this one time you guys released like ashtrays and obviously with the bear and just the stuff that you guys do. So what sort of amount of thinking goes into that, in terms of marketing and such? Is this something you put a lot of thought behind, or is it just like, hey, let's wing it and just go for it?
Yes, of course. So some of you might not know this, but I'm the bassist of the band. One of two halves of the band. The other half is Simon.
Yeah.
And Simon focuses more on the marketing side of things, whereas I have a background in business and entrepreneurship.
Nice.
And that includes running the Splashy Fen merch store.
Nice.
And I've been doing that since I was about 15. And in that, I gained a lot of experience with like merchandise and different sort of items that you would sell at music festivals. So obviously, based on that experience, I decided to implement it. And yeah.
You guys have actually played Splashy. And it's interesting that you mentioned, obviously running the merch store there, which is an incredible experience and something good to have on your CV in a way. When you look at you guys playing Splashy, would you say it's been your biggest show so far? Right?
I think for sure. For me personally, I've been going to Splashies since I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
I think I've been to over 20 Splashies, and it's always been my dream to play on that stage. And yeah, it was a truly amazing experience for me to finally go and do that,
How do you work yourself up to a point where you're now playing Splashy? Because we see so many Durban bands that'll start up. Some of them do make it, to Splashy. But, is there like a secret formula? Is there how do you get to that?
I think most importantly, it's hard work.
Okay.
But on top of that, there's a common trend amongst Durban bands, which is pretty much just to release one EP and then sort of disband.
Yeah.
And I think in this industry and social media nowadays, everything is so competitive, and what really gives you the edge is just to continue on and just to not stop. You miss 100% of the chances that you don't take, and a lot of people they give up too easily. And if you can just persevere and continue to try hard and give your very best, then this world is going to give something back.
That is very beautiful indeed, man. And you know, obviously with the hard work, it obviously you guys are also super smart with the moves that you guys make. And as we mentioned, the marketing and so on and so forth. You guys also basically run Reverberate as well. Obviously, the interview is about PosterBoy, but I feel like I think of PosterBoy and I automatically think of Reverberate as well. Do you guys feel like you have an edge at all, you know, running sort of like an events company where you're able to book other artists as well, and you're doing a really good job at it? Shout outs to you guys, obviously. But do you feel like you guys are in a good position to sort of know what is expected of maybe a band when it comes to, you know, event organizers and such? Has running Reverberate helped, you know, propel maybe PosterBoy further as well?
100%. You know, when we first started PosterBoy, we didn't expect to start Reverberate, but we started the band post COVID-19, as all the bands on Sludge Underground have started. And because of that, there weren't very many gigs around, and we didn't really have any opportunities, especially in the alternative scene in Durban, as we're all well aware. So we didn't really have any choice but to sort of start our own company. And when we started off, we were very clueless, as we were with the band. But through perseverance and learning through our mistakes, we very quickly gathered the skills and expertise to put on these events, and it's been a huge booster for our band. You know, from the get-go, we were able to have fans and a crowd and play shows as we wanted.
You guys are getting fans, you've got a crowd, you're playing Splashy, all these big shows. Give us some tips, you know, in terms of what sort of like band etiquette, you know, like what sort of practices should people sort of have when they're looking at maybe getting booked as consistently as, you know, PosterBoy is getting?
Okay, well, I would say the first thing is basically just to organize your band well, you know. Make sure that the members know exactly what their roles are, and if you guys can contribute outside of the music, that's very important, you know. In our band, I handle all of the business aspect side, all the booking of gigs, and Simon handles the social media. That means that we have more time basically to focus on other things. But I would say most importantly, we spent a lot of time and energy thinking and talking about like the other aspects of the band besides playing the music, you know. The music was a very small part of that, and the admin was a very big part of it. The music sort of came naturally to us, but the admin part didn't, and that was really what we had to focus on, was the business side of everything. But I would say what really gave us the edge over other bands in Durban is that we just played a lot of shows last year, probably more than any other band, and that gave us a lot of experience. And, you know, I think new bands, they form and they have a lot of things that they need to get done, recording, social media, and it can become overwhelming. But you know, the best way to create a fan base is to play live and engage with your community and your fan base.
As PosterBoy, and obviously being, you know, one of the bands, I would say you're one of the bands that sort of brought back the excitement, you know, into the Durban scene, as it hadn't been as good in quite a long time. As a band that's been moving within Durban, what are your thoughts on the scene and how it is currently?
I think that we're definitely progressing forward. Obviously post COVID-19, the close of the Winston was very different for everyone, you know. It went from one venue to multiple venues that maybe didn't have the same crowd of alternative fans each week. And it's been difficult for everyone involved. And you know, scenes build up and then they die down, and it's a common progression. I think amongst the bands in Durban, one of the best things that we can do is encourage bigger bands from around the country and around the world to come and stop by Durban, to encourage more people to come to the shows, you know. Because right now we have some amazing bands in Durban, we really do. They're super talented, but unfortunately there's only so many bands that event organizers can choose from. And if we don't reach out and bring more people from across the country, then I just worry that, you know, bands can grow so far until they're headlining a show, but how many shows can you headline in a city in a year, you know? We need to have other bigger bands that we can open for, and it would be really cool to just get those bands that are coming to Cape Town and Joburg to also come to Durban.
Do you feel like Durban is a bit underrated as well in terms of, you know, just what's happening and sort of like this revolution basically that's been happening and the resurgence over the years? Do you still feel like it's sort of like underrated compared to maybe Joburg and Cape Town?
I think that there's a common misconception surrounding the Durban scene and the music, you know. like I said before, the bands are amazing. They're just as great as the bands in Cape Town and Joburg, but we don't have the same facilities that they do in terms of playing live shows, in terms of recording studios and engineers around. So it becomes a lot more difficult to gain access to the resources that you need to grow yourself.
Yeah. Do you also feel like there's enough sort of like collaborating within artists and event organizers as well? Or do you feel like everyone is sort of like in their own little pockets and such? This is something that I've seen mainly in the hip hop sort of scene, where it seems a lot more divided. And there's like less unity within that space, whereas I've seen more of the unity within like the alt space. But you're someone who's sort of like deep within that sort of realm. So according to you, as the bassist of PosterBoy, would you say are we collaborating enough as, you know, creators within the alt scene?
Yeah, I'd say that there is a fair amount of collaboration going on, because our scene isn't as big as other scenes. You know, naturally there is going to be competition developing amongst different groups of people and sort of niches within the scene. And I think that competition is very healthy. Although like more collaboration would be better for the scene, this healthy competition that's developing right now is good for everything that's going on. And I think that if we can just build the small niches that we have, eventually it'll grow, and the collaboration will come within the small niches that are currently growing.
What would you say to anyone who's had anything negative to say about PosterBoy at all? No matter how big a person gets, there's always going to be people who love you. There's always going to be people who don't really rate you like that. So what would you say it sort of boils down to?
Well, first of all, to all those haters out there, I'd just like to say that they're peanut butter and jealous. We like to do things without considering what other people are doing, you know?
Okay.
And I mean, obviously we want to be considerate of people, but we don't necessarily look at what other bands are doing and try and emulate that. And because of that, we might push buttons and do things outside of the norm and outside of the societal sort of expectations that might confuse people. And I think at the end of the day, me personally, I'm a very outspoken person. I like to say what's on my mind, regardless of whether it's the right thing to say with a normal conversation. And I think maybe I have caused some issues with other people amongst the scene. But at the end of the day, you know, everything that I've done has been for the benefit of PosterBoy, which I believe, you know, is to meet our goal of growing the scene in Durban and growing our band specifically. And
I would obviously also, just to add to that, I feel like if PosterBoy is benefiting as well, would you say Durban is benefiting? Because I mean, obviously it is a Durban band and we want to see a Durban band do well, and having a Durban band play Splashy and such, do you reckon the success of like any band within Durban would be good for the greater, you know?
Yes, I think that's all Durban bands should be pushing further than they are right now, you know? I think anyone that has goals that are realistic, I mean, maybe that might be the normal thing to do, but people that have goals that are unrealistic, that are almost impossible, those are the people that really drive the world forward, you know, not just the music scene. But I mean, if we limit ourselves by thinking, oh, this is what the people before me did, then we're never going to be able to break those barriers and progress as a nation, as a society.
Why is it taking you guys so long to get obviously like a new drummer? Obviously we did come from Josh was the initial guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And then obviously, if I remember correctly, I remember Shane being there for a bit, or if he played one gig, Kyle was in there. You guys have been cycling, but you finally landed on someone really dope. So what is taking you guys so long? Why has the process taken, you know, this long? And maybe if you can even jump into why maybe Josh left. Obviously, you guys are still good, I'd assume. But get in a bit of the drummer situation for me.
Cool. Well, I guess it all boils down to how the band started, and that was with me and Simon basically just having an insanely close and amazing relationship where we both shared an insane vision to do something that most people wouldn't even like attempt. And we were really passionate about our band and our music and our shared vision. And it's been extremely hard to find a drummer that shares the same values and passion as us. You know, Josh was an amazing drummer. He's a super talented person. And it was amazing jamming with him. We really love him, and it was an awesome experience, you know, last year. But some people don't necessarily want to become famous and want to be in a big band.
Yeah.
A lot of musicians are mainly in it for the music.
Okay.
And as much as we are in it for the music, we still have a lot of goals that we are driven to push for. And unfortunately with Josh, his goals just didn't align with mine and Simon's. And yeah, he really wants to be in a band where he doesn't have as much pressure on him to play gigs and play bigger shows like Splashy.
Okay.
And I think that's awesome, because as much as there are bands that are pushing to do the impossible, we still need people that are playing music for the love of music. And yeah, I think that it's two halves of the same coin.
Yeah. And your new drummer, how have things been going?
Our new drummer David has been amazing. I don't know how we found him. He's been playing in his studio for over 10 years, and he's actually from an amazing musical family.
Nice.
Thanks to David, we have been working with a new producer also named David. David Birch from the band Squeal. And
nice.
We're just super grateful to be working with such an awesome producer, working on our upcoming album, which we're going to be releasing as singles throughout the course of next year. And Dave Birch is just an amazing producer. He's worked with acts like Parlotones and just does some real amazing work. And from what we've heard of the music that he's been mixing of ours, it sounds really good, and we're super excited to share it with everyone.
Hey, that is 100% cool, man. That is really dope. Now, obviously, we're almost at the end of the show, but I do want to find out more about what's coming up in terms of, future plans. What can we sort of expect from PosterBoy? Obviously, we are sort of like at the tail end of 2023. If there's anything remaining within this year, tell us a bit about that, and obviously plans for 2024.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure by the time this interview has been released, we would have been on tour in Cape Town, and I guess for the rest of the year, we're going to be touring around the country, some of the places that we haven't been, like the Western Cape and Cape Town. And basically we are working with Dave, like I said, to produce our music for you guys. It has taken a bit longer than expected, but that's because we just really want to pour all of our energy into the music and make sure that it's great for the fans. We're working on recording a couple of songs so that once we do start rolling them out, there isn't as much space in between releases. But for now, you guys can stream us on YouTube. You can find us on all socials at PosterBoy Band. We have a couple of live videos on YouTube, and that's where you can listen to our music for now.
That is really cool, man. I want to have one final segment here, and this is in no way trying to promote any hatred. This is more of just a highlight and just to show you how rich Durban is in terms of, the talent that is there. Now, if you, obviously, as someone that operates Reverberate and you're also doing PosterBoy, say, for example, let's say 50 Cent. I don't know. It's a terrible example. 50 Cent comes down to Durban. You need to put together a lineup. You need to recommend one hip-hop artist to him on his lineup, and you need to pick between China the Artist and Peg. Who are you picking?
Oof.
And why?
I think unfortunately I'm gonna have to go for Peg. I love China. Shout out China. He's amazing. He's one of my homies. Peg and China, both my homies. But unfortunately Peg just has some mad talent. That man, he was born talented, and a funny story is that I've actually known Peg for quite a while. And when I'm a couple years older than him, when he was about 9 or 10 years old, I actually told him, Peg, dude, you got a dope voice. Don't waste that, man. And I feel like I might have had a little something to do with that Peg. So,
nice.
Got to go for that, man.
Oh, wait, shout out, bro. And then, obviously, he's coming down. He needs to play a show at one of the Durban venues. Obviously, we have the options of Robson's. We have the options of Westfield Warehouse. We've got the Vern. You need to pick one. You're 50. Pick one of these events, bro. One of these places that you can play. Which one would you go for and why?
It's got to be the Vern. The Vern goes so hard. I've never seen a group of people get as drunk as they do at the Vern. Shout out to you guys.
We're proper. One final one. Who is in charge of organizing the show and all the acts? So obviously in Durban we have people like Sons of Shem who mentioned that they're operating, doing gigs as well. We've got Red Door Productions, which is Matt and Jamie. Shout out to them. I don't want to put in Reverberate because it would kind of be unfair.
That's unfair,
You're already there. But then you also have Durban Rock City. So you'd have to pick one of these to organize the events. Who do you pick and why?
It's got to be Red Door Production and Matt's. Matt is an amazing sound guy. I'm not too familiar with Jamie, but they really are some amazing people, and the events that they put on Durban are insane, you know?
That is perfect. Listen, Keagan, I want to thank you so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate this. Just learning a bit more about the band and just the scene as a whole. It's been really amazing, you know, coming through from someone who's been at this for quite a while. Got to learn how to, you know, get into Splashy or what's needed to get into Splashy. We got to know, you know, about some of the other Durban creatives and all that there, what's coming with the band. So I'm super stoked that you took this chance, and we basically had this interview. I hope it wasn't too bad. Would you come back to the show at all in future?
Yes, I love Sludge. You guys are doing so much for the scene in South Africa, and especially in Durban. And yeah, just keep it up, bro. Anytime you want us back, we'll be here. Hopefully with Simon next time.
Yeah, you better come through, Simon. I want to thank you as well, the audience, for tuning into this amazing episode. For all things Sludge Underground, we've got our website, www.sludgeunderground.com, and that is where we basically get all our episodes and everything that you need. The merch is there as well, sludgeunderground.store. Do support and obviously look out for some of the PosterBoy mascots that will be coming out soon. Where can people get those once they're out?
We will be releasing an online store through WhatsApp.
Sweet.
Which we'll be linking on our socials coming January next year.
Nice. That is dope. So do check that out. And yeah, we're going to be closing out. What's the best sort of PosterBoy song that we can maybe link with?
If you like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we have Midnight Missions on YouTube. Find us on all socials at PosterBoy Band. And yeah, if you want to hear Peg and PosterBoy Jam, Midnight Missions live at Splashy.
Sweet, guys. Until next time, from us, Keagan and myself, we are Plats. We'll see you guys next time. It's bye for now.
I feel protected when I'm counting on every time. I feel protected when I'm counting on my blessings. Like I feel protected when I'm counting on my blessings. Like I feel protected when I'm counting on my blessings. When I'm counting on my blessings. When I'm counting on my blessings. I said lately, literally been going crazy, trying to get all of these listeners to just take me seriously. I'm working, the amount of people.
Sweet. Bro, please tell me the phone is recording. I will die if it wasn't. I'll have a literal.
Yeah.